Hello. So today I'm gonna tell you about information overload. So let me first tell you what is information overload. Information overload is an overwhelming feeling upon the receipt or collection of an indistinguishable or incomprehensible amount of information. The feeling of being faced with an amount of data that one has no hope of completely processing in the computer usage. Information overload is an increasing problem both in workplace and in life in general. Those that learn to uh, deal with if affectionately will have a major advantage in the next few years. Information overload is when you trying to deal with more information that you are able to process to make sensible decision. The result is either that you either delay making decision or that you make a wrong decision. It is common a place to be getting too many emails, reports, and incoming messages to deal with the affectionately. The the information overload age. The first recorded use of phrase information overload was used by uh, physiologist Alvin Toffler in 1970 when he predicted that the rapidly increasing amount of information being, being produced would eventually cause people's problems. Although people talk about living in the information age, return information has been used for thousands of years. The invention of the printing press a few hundred years ago made it possible to distribute written information to large amount of people. However, it is only with the advent of modern computer that the ability to create, duplicate, and access vast of information that is ability to create, duplicate, and access vast amount of information has created in the information overloaded among the general population. The root of the problem is that although computer processing and memory is increasingly all the time, the human that must use the information are getting any faster. Affectionately, the human mind acts as bottleneck in the process. As there can be many kind of information overloaded. So one is non-sensory overload. Information overload need to be differentiated from sensory overload. This is when your mind is bombarded with images, sound, and sensation that overload the brain. The brain can actually handle tens of millions of signals from our senses every second. Uh, think of the number of light sensor within the eye. The equate this is to resolution the little camera. This includes the thousand of touches, sensitivity, area of the body, and the range of our hearing. But we can still deal with all this because the brain has 10 of the million of years of evolution to deal with this. Compare those tens of millions of years of the few thousand years we have been dealing with information such as talking and writing. Our brain are still learning to deal with this, so we can only process very small amount of time. There are some causes which can deal with the information overload. Information overload is now commonplace in office around the world. Some of causes include the widespread access to the web, the ease sending emails, large number of people. Information overload can be accurately combined uh, to the information that can be duplicated for free. There are no variable cost in producing more copies. People send reports and information to people who may need to know rather than uh, definitely need to know. Poorly created information causes information overload, like the information is not distributed equally. So this can make the information burdenly, and this can cause information overload. Um, uh, there are some of the simplest form, like we can filter the data which is useful, and the data which is not can be uh, uh, like deleted, and the information can't be overloaded. As not written clearly, some people have spent more time understanding what can be done to information overload. This can be uh, like this this can have a problem which can be eventually come over. In an office, the problem of information overload spread like viruses. If one person is suffering information overload, they tend not to process the information they are handling very well. Rather than summarizing a report or document, they just pass on the whole things to everyone in the office. Now the rest of the office must wait though 80 pages to find a few key or pieces of information that are relevant to their jobs and decision they need to make. Although there are no simple solution to problem information overload, there are some things that can be done to reduce the problem. This include spending less or gaining information that is needs to know that more time, or things that we need to know, focusing on quality of information rather than quantity. A short, concise email is more valuable than a long email. Learning how to create better information, be direct in what you ask people so that they can provide you short price answer. Single tasking and keeping the mind focused on one issue at a time. Spending part of day disconnecting for interruption, switch off email, telephones, web, etc. So like you can fully concentrate for significant period of time on more things. There information overload can be also made usage of directly in intercontamination. Information overload need to be differentiated in its own scenario. Like once a system is overloaded, uh, the data need to be deleted or overcome. Once data get deleted, the information overcome can be managed. As said before, like information overload has saved the amount of data which has a rapid increase of feeling. So this of the deal with the information overload. Hope you like it. Wait for my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.